energy in here. It's insane. My goodness, such a good vibe. I'm so happy to be here. Okay, so we've had planes today, we've had poetry, and now we're going to move on to poo. Seems like a perfect kind of, progression of things. Okay, so thanks for the great introduction, Megan. I guess some of you are kind of going, who is this lady? And somebody keeps saying the word poo. Did she really call her organisation Pinchapoo? Yep, it happened. We did it. So just to kind of address any awkwardness and just get us all on the same page, I thought we could while we can get away with it while I'm in charge and your teachers aren't, I thought we could all just kind of stand up all at once, scream Pinchapoo as loud as we possibly can, and then we're all kind of comfortable with the word. Okay? So on the count of 3, we're going to lift this roof off and say poo while we can get away with it, okay? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Well, that was a little bit selfish on my behalf. I just wanted to hear what it sounded like to have 4,000 people scream Pinchapoo at one time. Okay guys, you've entered. My name is Kate Austin and I am the crazy, super proud founder of Pinchapoo Australia. Our concept, as Megan explained, is based on pinching those cute little bottles of shampoo and other toiletries that are provided to you as part of the cost of your accommodation when you stay in a motel, hotel, caravan park, wherever it might be. Using that concept, we have been able to provide for those in need, and when I say provide, we have provided in excess of 500,000 personal essential hygiene items. Thank you. So we're extraordinarily proud of that. So where does this stuff go? It goes to women, men, children, anybody who is in need. We distribute via shelters, refuges, short-term housing, jails, hospitals, refugee support centres, camps, community shower facilities, crisis agencies, all in our 6 years of operation. We believe in the power of the poo. There's a statement. You're allowed to say that for the next 15 minutes only. We believe in the power of the poo. So our personal hygiene packs mean that homeless people can shower, shave, deodorise for the first time in weeks. They ensure that those escaping domestic abuse have got some of the items that they left behind in their bathrooms. They help refugees re-establish their life in Australia. They help bushfire, flood victims. They lift morale of those serving time in jail. There is a whole range of places and causes and organisations that we're able to use these little bottles for. But make no mistake, our work is not about the products themselves. The products are what we do, but is not why we do it. We are able to witness some of the most amazing transformations that happen to people when they have access to hygiene, personal hygiene. So they're able to regain self-love, self-respect, self-confidence, and that enables them to reintegrate back into society following drug abuse, mental health issues, things like that. So we think that's pretty amazing. They also help people connect with organisations, community groups, social workers, all those people who are there to help them on their journey. So it all sounds great, hey? Super achievement, we're stoked, sounds like you're stoked. But what you guys rarely have the opportunity to hear is the story that sits behind somebody's success. And that's sort of a journey I'd like to take you on today. It's a very personal one, so bear with me if I get emotional. My journey started when I wasn't very much older than you guys. I was 16 when I left home, not because I wanted to, because I had to. I was living in a home that was very unsafe. I was being abused mentally, physically, emotionally, and I was being neglected. Just before I left home, I encountered, which sounds very dramatic, but a near-death experience. So I knew that next time things were headed that way, that I really needed to go. So in that moment where I knew I had to go, I ran straight past my clothes, straight past my music, straight past my posters, all those things that were super important to me as a teenage girl. And the one thing in that moment that I grabbed, I ran into my bathroom and I grabbed my toothbrush. Seems like a crazy thing to grab from your house. So I left my house, my foundation, my family, everything that I owned with my toothbrush. So yes, I just think that maybe there was a moment where I thought that would make me feel better on the other end, wherever that other end was going to be, and I didn't know that at the time. So I guess that split-second decision in my past is one that actually defined my entire future. So what I would say to you is that every moment in your life is truly significant, and even the ones you think don't count actually do. The next day I went to school, right? I had a million reasons not to go to school, but I did. I didn't know what else to do. I sat in my classroom in the same clothes that I'd left in the night before. I can remember the stinging of my eyes from crying more tears than I ever thought was possible. I'd brushed my teeth, yes, because I had my toothbrush, but I didn't have my deodorant. I didn't have, my makeup, which I probably shouldn't have been wearing to school, but was. I didn't have any of those things, and I went from being a really confident, lead singer of the band type of girl to somebody who wanted to dig a hole and just crawl away and really die. I didn't want anyone to see me or talk to me or even look at me. And I think in that instant, I understood that our exteriors can act as a very powerful ignition for how we feel about ourselves on the inside. So I spent the next 11 years of my life kind of floating, getting lost in others, desperately trying to work through some of the long-term effects like anxiety and things like that of domestic abuse. And it was after my first son had turned 1 that I woke up one day and realised that I'd really just been surviving. I hadn't been living, so I stopped in that very moment, and I can remember exactly where I was, and I said, Kate, you're going to start living. Today's the day you're going to start living, and gave myself permission to do that. So, sorry, I've realised I've just missed some slides here. I'm too busy talking. Sorry. So there's a really disgusting photo of me when I was way younger than you, just to prove that if you can live through puffy headbands and crimped hair, you're going to be okay. All right? Okay, so the dream. What I will tell you is that I'm not here today to make you feel sad or make you feel like, oh, poor Kate. That's not why I'm here. I want you to realise that dreams don't always come from a perfect place, right? And you don't always know them from birth. So it took me 27 years to realise mine, and it certainly didn't come from a perfect place. So please keep that in mind. I had my lightning bolt moment one night in the shower, and there's a visual for you all. I was busy washing my hair with some shampoo that I'd recently pinched on a trip away with my husband. And, do all my thinking in the shower like most people, right? Washing my hair, and suddenly thought, I wonder how many people pinch these things. Surely it's not just me. So as I'm bubbling away, soaping away, I remember reading an article just recently in that time that over 20,000 homeless people sleep out every single night, and that's in Victoria alone. So I kind of started thinking about how could we use these little bottles of shampoo to help people? So there it was, bang, flash, lightning. I ran out of the shower completely naked, ran into my lounge room, and my family had thought that I'd gone absolutely crazy mad, and I was screaming, Pinchapoo, Pinchapoo, probably about as loud as what you guys just did. And my husband was like, whoa, lay down here, sit down, talk me through it. So I did. And he loved it. He said, Kate, are you sure you want to call it Pinchapoo? It's fair to say he's learnt not to question the vision since then. So it became my calling. I frantically started researching, if anybody had really looked into the effects that having access to personal hygiene or not having access to personal hygiene has on the way we live our lives. And it turned out that nobody had really done this, so it became my dream. Something I started living for, the thing I went to bed thinking about, the thing I dreamt all night about, and the thing that I woke up feeling completely energized about. But I didn't want to create just anything. That's not my style. So I challenged my dream. It needed to reflect me. It needed to be cheeky, out of the box, unapologetic. And I always wondered growing up why charities and organisations felt like they needed to communicate with people and master attention with guilt-driven messages and kind of emotional marketing. That's not how we're going to do it. That's not how we're doing it. We're going to tackle some issues, open some conversations, and have a bloody good time doing it. But nobody could prepare me for the journey ahead. I often get asked, Kate, if you knew what this journey was going to look like, in your life, would you have gone on it? And the answer is absolutely yes. Before they've even got the question out, the answer is yes. Because it was my dream. And when you dream your dream, you're the boss, right? And I'm a pretty tough boss, so I wasn't about to let myself down. But I guess what I need to tell you is nobody can really prepare you for the endless setbacks, the crazy amounts of hours, the endless no's and knockbacks and wanting to quit every single day. But what defines you is when you get back up and you do it all again the next day because it's your dream. These moments really help you to understand and celebrate the victories when you're having those sort of lower moments. So when I wanted to start something, this was pre-social media, right? You guys are not aware of this time in your lives, but the adults in the room will understand that this was a time where if you wanted to get a business or an organisational idea off the ground, you needed to talk to people. About as good as we got was an email, right? So we had to talk to people. So I had a few friends start collecting some Pinch shampoos for us, and we had enough to offer to our first local shelter. So we did that, called up, hi, it's Kate from Pinchapoo, la la la. The lady was like, nah, thanks, but no thanks. I don't know what you're saying to me. I don't know what you're offering. See you later. I got off the phone and I fell apart. I've gone from up here and I was crushed. And I knew in that moment that I had a second to think about this and really understand that I had a choice. I could have gone, okay, cool, this didn't work out. Let's move on. Or I could have got back on the horse and I could have continued to reach out to people and find people who could use this stuff. And as it turns out, we can't get enough of it. So I'm so glad that I kept going. So on my journey, I've gotten used to hearing the word no crazy amounts of times. But what I want to say to you, if there's one thing you take away from what I'm saying to you today, please understand that the word no has got 2 teeny tiny little letters in it, and nobody ever died from hearing it, I promise you. Get over the word no. You will become bulletproof, right? For every no you get, you're closer to a yes. And that's always so important to remember. When somebody says you can't, they're showing you their limits, not yours. So I still have a long way to go, right? But we're really far from where we used to be, and I think that's something to be extraordinarily proud of. I vow right now and today, and you can all hold me to it, that I won't stop, I won't sleep, and I really do, until every single person in this country that makes the heartbreaking choice between food and hygiene every week has got access to personal hygiene essentials, which we believe are absolutely vital for physical and mental well-being. So very quickly, I'm going to give you the steps. I want you to have some tangible things to take away today, things that you can do to help you on your journey. The first one is ensure your dream is yours. I know that sounds really simple, but how often do we hear, oh, Annie, she's so great at plaiting hair, she's going to be a hairdresser. Well, that's cool if Annie is going to be a hairdresser and that's what she really wants to do. But maybe Annie's going to be a brain surgeon or an astronaut or an electrical engineer, okay? So remember that. If it's what's in your heart, I promise you, you won't let yourself down. The second thing is always ask yourself why. So when you realize what your dream is, when you have your own lightning bolt moment, ask yourself why. You want to do this, but why is it that you want to do it? Because that is going to give you so much more purpose and focus on what it is that you're trying to do. Number 3, make simple choices every day. Choices are actually teeny tiny disguised steps that make up part of a journey. Okay, and that's very much the theme of today. Master those little tiny things. And it can be as simple as asking a question that you want to know the answer to. Number 4, never stop believing, right? Think about your dream like a roller coaster. Some days you're going to be down, some days you're going to be up, some days you're going to feel like your seatbelt's coming off. Stay on the ride. I can't stress that enough. And lastly, get yourself a squad. Works for Taylor Swift, right? She's got a squad. She's gone pretty well. What I mean by squad is Somebody who you surround yourself with who gives you all the reasons why you can, not the reasons why you can't. Okay, and teachers are fantastic for that. Parents, aunties, uncles, whoever it might be, but make sure you have that person or persons in your life. Some of you have probably put your hands up if you've got a chance at the moment to be part of the Buddies program in your schools. Yeah, who's a buddy? Awesome. So this is your first chance at being a mentor. But what is equally as important is that you have a mentor. So be a mentor and have a mentor. If you feel like you haven't got that person in your life, and I truly mean this, please get in contact with me, right? Get mum or dad to jump on social media and get in contact with me because I would be so privileged and honoured to hear your dream. Also, I'm going to be sticking around for lunch, so come and talk to me. Lastly, I can't believe I'm standing here today in front of our future leaders. What an unbelievable honour to play a very, very tiny, yes, give yourselves a clap. Awesome. It has been an absolute honour to be a very, very small part of that, and I'm truly grateful to have your attention. Thank you so much.